everyone. Welcome back to the Plain English Podcast, your daily English practice where we talk about simple things that help you sound more natural in English. I'm Emily.
And I'm David. We're really happy you're here with us today. If you're new to the podcast, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss our daily English practice episodes.
So, David, I have to ask you something. What exactly happened during your phone call with Lily yesterday? After you hung up the phone, you looked really confused, almost like your brain stopped working for a moment.
Yeah? That moment was honestly embarrassing. Okay, so here's the story. Lily was having dinner at her parents' house, and she called me while I was at my apartment. She asked me a simple question. David, are you coming? And I confidently answered, yeah, I'm going.
And what did she say after that?
She immediately corrected me. She said, no, David, you're coming, not going. At that moment, I just froze. I stood there holding my car keys, staring at the wall, wondering, aren't those basically the same thing?
Oh no, that's one of the most common English mistakes. Many English learners get confused about come and go.
Exactly. My brain felt like someone pressed the pause button. I kept asking myself, am I coming or am I going? What is happening?
Well, that situation is actually perfect for today's topic. Today we're going to talk about the difference between come and go, because many people think they understand it, but when they actually use it in conversation, they suddenly feel unsure.
That's exactly how I felt. I thought I understood the difference, but that phone call made me realize that I didn't fully get it.
Don't worry, you're definitely not alone. This is probably one of the biggest confusions for English learners around the world. Even people who have been speaking English for many years sometimes make mistakes with these two words.
Okay, Emily, I need your help. Can you explain this to me in the simplest way possible? Imagine I'm a 5-year-old child.
All right, I'll try my best. Here's the main idea. Come means movement toward the speaker. Go means movement away from the speaker.
Toward the speaker and away from the speaker. That sounds simple, but I want to understand it better.
Think of it like a compass or a map. Imagine the speaker is standing in the center. If someone is moving toward that person, we usually say come. If someone is leaving that place and moving somewhere else, we usually say go.
Oh, that makes much more sense now. So when Lily was at her parents' house and she asked me, are you coming? She was the center of the situation.
Exactly. From Lily's point of view, she was waiting for you. She wanted to know if you were moving toward her location.
But when I said I'm going, I was thinking from my own perspective. I was leaving my apartment and driving somewhere else.
Right. Technically, your sentence wasn't completely wrong, but when you talk to the person who is waiting for you, it usually sounds more natural to say, I'm coming.
So it's like choosing a camera angle in a movie?
That's actually a perfect way to think about it. Whose camera are we using? Whose eyes are we looking through?
Wow, I feel like a light bulb just turned on in my brain.
Great! Let's test your understanding with a few situations.
All right, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Situation number 1. You're at home. You call your friend Jake. Jake is already at a bar and you want to join him there. What would you say?
I would say I'm coming because Jake is already there and I'm moving toward him.
Perfect answer. You're matching Jake's perspective.
Okay, that one was easy.
Now let's change the situation. You're still at home, Jake is still at the bar, but now you're talking to Lily and you're telling her about your plan.
In that case, I would say I'm going to meet Jake because I'm leaving my house and going somewhere else.
Exactly. Same trip, different word because the perspective changed.
That's amazing. The location didn't change, the destination didn't change, but the word changed because the listener changed.
Yes, English often depends on perspective. Once you understand whose point of view you're using, the choice becomes much easier.
Honestly, my brain is doing some serious gymnastics right now, in a good way.
That's the feeling of learning something new.
Well, thanks, Emily. Next time Lily calls me, I'll make sure I say the right thing.
And hopefully you won't stand frozen in your kitchen again.
I hope so too.
Now, David, here's where things start to get really interesting. Phone calls. Phone calls are actually one of the biggest situations where come and go become very confusing for English learners.
I can definitely imagine that. When you're on the phone, it's harder to think about where the other person is.
Exactly. When you talk face-to-face, it's easy to understand the direction, but during a phone call, you have to imagine the other person's location in your mind.
That sounds tricky already.
Let's look at an example. Imagine this situation. You're at the office and Lily is at home. You call her and say, "I'll come home around 6." Do you think that sentence is correct?
Let me think about it carefully. I'm at the office right now and Lily is at home. Since Lily is the person I'm talking to, I should think about her location as the center of the situation. If I drive from the office to home, I'm moving toward Lily. So yes, I think saying "I'll come home around 6" is correct.
Perfect reasoning. You're thinking from Lily's perspective, and from her point of view, you are moving toward her location. That's why come works perfectly in that sentence.
But now I'm wondering, could I also say "I'll go home around 6"?
Yes, you could, but only if you're talking to someone else. For example, imagine you're still at the office and you're talking to your coworker about your plans for the evening.
Oh, I see. In that situation, I would say "I'll go home around 6" because I'm leaving the office.
Exactly. From the office perspective, home is somewhere else, away from where you are now.
That's fascinating. The destination stays the same, but the word changes depending on who you're speaking to.
You're understanding it really well. Let's try another phone call situation to make things clearer.
All right, I'm ready for the next challenge.
Imagine you're at home and you call a restaurant to make a dinner reservation. You say, "Hello, I'd like to make a reservation. We're coming at 7." Why do we say coming in this sentence?
Let me think. I'm speaking to someone at the restaurant. The restaurant is their location. When my friends and I arrive there, we'll be moving toward them. So from their perspective, we are coming to the restaurant.
Exactly right. When you speak to the restaurant staff, their location becomes the center point of the conversation.
That makes sense. So we say we're coming at 7 because we're heading toward the place where the listener is.
Yes, but imagine a different situation. Now you're telling Lily about your dinner plans while you're both still at home.
Then I would say, we're going to that Italian restaurant at 7 tonight.
Correct again. In that situation, both you and Lily are at home and the restaurant is somewhere else, so you're moving away from your current location.
Wow, the logic is really starting to make sense now.
I can see the understanding in your eyes.
Honestly, it feels like my brain just installed new software. Everything about come and go is suddenly processing differently.
Brain update complete.
System restart successful.
Let me tell you about one of my former students. Her name was Yuki, and she was from Japan. For her, come and go were the most difficult verbs in English.
What kind of mistakes did she make?
Whenever someone invited her to a party, she would say, "I will go to your party."
I think I know the problem. It should be, I will come to your party, right?
Exactly, because the host is already at the party location. When you accept the invitation, you're moving toward the host.
So from their perspective, you are coming to their party.
That's right. Saying, "I'll come to your party" sounds much more natural.
I'm sure many listeners are having an aha moment right now.
I hope so. Let me give you another example from Yuki's experience. One day, her friend called her and said, "Do you want to come over this weekend?"
That's a common invitation in English.
Yes. Yuki answered, "Yes, I want to go to your house."
Grammatically, it's understandable, but it doesn't sound natural.
Exactly. The natural response would be, "Yes, I'd love to come over."
Because the friend invited her toward their location.
Right. The invitation already created a direction. When someone says come, it's natural to answer with come as well.
So the invitation creates a direction, and the response follows that direction.
That's a perfect way to think about it.
I really like that explanation.
And don't worry if this concept still feels a little difficult. For many learners, it takes some time before it becomes automatic.
That's good to hear.
Even advanced students sometimes need a few weeks of practice before they stop thinking about it consciously.
I have another question. What about when we talk about time or future events? For example, people say, winter is coming or summer is going.
That's a great question. When we talk about time and events, we usually use come when something is approaching us.
Like something moving toward the present moment?
Exactly. For example, winter is coming. My birthday is coming up next week. The deadline is coming soon.
So in these examples, the future feels like it's moving toward us.
Yes, but we use go when something passes or moves away into the past.
Can you give some examples?
Sure. For example, summer went by so fast. The weekend is going to fly by. Those days are gone. That's really interesting. You can imagine time like a road. The future comes toward us, and the past goes away from us.
Wow, that's a really poetic way to think about it.
And once you remember that idea, choosing between come and go becomes much easier. That's beautifully said, David. Think about it this way. The future approaches us, so it comes toward us. The past leaves us, so it goes away. It's almost like we're standing on a long road. The future is slowly walking toward us, while the past keeps walking farther and farther away.
Wow, that's a really poetic way to describe it. Now when I hear the sentence, Monday is coming, it suddenly sounds very dramatic, like a movie scene where the villain is slowly approaching in slow motion.
Monday the villain. I love that image. And honestly, everyone listening probably knows that exact feeling. On Sunday night, many people feel that heavy feeling in their chest when they realize Monday is coming soon.
Yes, you can actually feel it in your stomach, that sinking feeling that the weekend is ending and the work week is about to begin.
Exactly. But let's move on to another situation where come and go can be a little tricky for learners.
What kind of situation?
Directions and movement between places. For example, simple phrases like come here and go there.
Right, those phrases are very common in everyday English.
Yes, come here means move toward the person who is speaking. For example, if I say, David, come here for a second, I want you to walk toward me.
And go there means move away from the speaker to another place.
Exactly. If I say, go there and wait for me, I'm asking you to move somewhere that is not where I am right now.
Those are simple examples, but they make the rule very clear.
That's true. Now let's talk about another interesting pair of phrases, come back and go back.
Oh yes, I've heard both of those many times, but I never thought deeply about the difference.
The idea is similar to what we discussed earlier. Come back means return to the place where the speaker is. For example, if I say, come back soon, I'm asking you to return to me.
So the destination is the speaker's location.
Exactly. But go back means return to a previous place that is not where the speaker is right now.
For example, if I'm at a cafe with you and suddenly realize something important,
What would you say?
I might say, oh no, I forgot my keys at work. I need to go back to the office.
Perfect example. In that situation, the office is somewhere else, away from where we are now.
Let's imagine another situation. Suppose Lily is at home and I already left for work. If she realizes that I forgot my lunch, she might text me, David, come back. You forgot your lunch.
Exactly, because she wants you to return to her location.
But if I'm already at work talking to a coworker, I would say, I need to go back home. I forgot my lunch.
Perfect explanation. You're really thinking about direction now.
Are you saying I'm starting to sound like a native English speaker?
I'm impressed, David.
Don't be too impressed. Yesterday, I still told Lily, I'm going, instead of I'm coming.
That's okay. Language learning is about progress, not perfection.
I like that idea.
Let's try another everyday situation. Imagine you're visiting a friend's house. It's getting late and you decide it's time to leave. What would you say?
I would probably say I should go now because I'm leaving and moving away from that place.
Exactly. You wouldn't say, I should come now, because that would mean you are arriving, but you're already there.
Right, that would sound very strange.
And this is really the final goal for learners. Eventually, you stop thinking about the grammar rule and simply feel the direction naturally.
Let me think of a real example from my life. Last week, my friend Jake sent me a message. He wrote, "Hey David, come watch the game at my place tonight."
That makes sense because the game was at Jake's house.
Exactly. He was inviting me toward his location. But I couldn't go because I already had another plan, so I replied, "Sorry, I can't tonight. I'm going to a client dinner."
Both sentences use the correct verbs.
Yes, Jake used come because he wanted me to move toward him, and I used going because the dinner was somewhere else.
That's a great real-life example.
After that, Jake texted again. He said, "That's too bad. Come next time."
And what did you reply?
I said, "Definitely. I'll come next week."
Perfect. Next week, you'll be moving toward Jake's place.
I'm starting to enjoy this grammar topic now.
Before we finish, here's one more helpful tip for everyone listening. If you're ever confused about whether to use come or go, ask yourself one simple question.
What's the question?
Ask yourself, where is the person I'm talking to?
That's a great trick.
If the listener is at the destination, you usually use come. If the listener is somewhere else, you usually use go.
So basically, the listener's location helps you decide the correct word.
Exactly.
That sounds like a cheat code for English learners.
Yes, you could call it the cheat code.
And if it works 90% of the time, that's already pretty amazing.
The remaining 10% will become natural with practice and exposure.
I can live with 90%. That's already an A grade in school.
Absolutely.
All right, Emily, should we move on to our vocabulary review section?
Sure.
Wait, should we say, let's come to the vocabulary review or let's go to the vocabulary review?
Good question.
I think the correct answer is let's go to the vocabulary review because we're moving forward in the episode, not toward a specific person.
Exactly. Looks like your brain update is working perfectly. David, I think you're starting to overthink it a little bit now. The phrase let's go is actually a fixed expression in English. People use it very often, and it usually just means let's start, let's begin, or let's move forward with something.
Oh, that makes sense. So when someone says, let's go, they're not always talking about physically moving somewhere.
Exactly. Sometimes it simply means, all right, it's time to begin.
Got it. Okay then, Emily, I think it's time for our vocabulary review.
Yes, let's start reviewing some useful word pairs with come and go. These pairs will help listeners understand how direction works in everyday English. Our first pair is come here versus go there.
These are very common phrases.
Come here means move toward the speaker. For example, if I say, David, come here for a moment, I want you to walk toward me.
And go there means move to another place that is not where the speaker is. For example, if you tell me, go there and wait, I should move away from you to another location.
Let's practice saying them. Come here. Come here.
Go there. Go there.
Come here.
Go there.
Now let's move to our second pair, come back versus go back.
These two are also very common in conversation.
Come back means return to the place where the speaker is. For example, if I say, come back soon, I want you to return to me.
And go back means return to another place that is not where the speaker is.
Exactly.
For example, if I realize I forgot something at the office, I might say, I need to go back to the office.
Let's repeat them. Come back. Come back.
Go back. Go back.
Our third pair is come over versus go over.
I hear come over a lot when people invite friends.
That's right. Come over means to visit someone at their home or their place.
For example, you might say, David, come over for dinner tonight.
Exactly. But go over can mean two things. It can mean visiting someone else's place, or it can mean reviewing something carefully.
For example, the teacher might say, let's go over the lesson again.
Good example. Let's repeat. Come over. Come over.
Go over. Go over.
Now for the fourth pair, come in versus go out.
These describe entering and leaving.
Yes, come in means enter toward the speaker. For example, if someone knocks on the door, I might say, come in.
And go out means leave a place or exit somewhere.
It can also mean going somewhere for fun, like dinner or a movie.
Right. People often say, let's go out tonight.
Let's practice. Come in. Come in.
Go out. Go out.
Our fifth pair is come on versus go ahead.
These are very useful in everyday conversations.
Come on can mean encouragement or asking someone to hurry up.
For example, during a game, you might say, come on, you can do it.
Exactly. But go ahead means giving permission to continue or proceed.
For example, if someone asks, can I start? You might reply, go ahead.
Let's repeat them. Come on. Come on.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Our sixth pair is come along versus go with.
Interesting pair.
Come along means join someone on a trip or journey.
For example, we're going to the park. Come along with us.
Yes, and go with often means choose something or accompany someone.
Like when someone says, I think I'll go with the blue shirt.
Exactly. Repeat after me. Come along. Come along.
Go with. Go with.
The seventh pair is come up versus go down.
These can describe many different things.
Yes, come up can mean approach, appear, or arise.
For example, an important question came up during the meeting.
Right, and go down can mean decrease or happen.
For instance, the price of oil went down last week.
Let's repeat. Come up. Come up.
Go down. Go down.
And finally, our eighth pair, come from versus go to.
These are about origin and destination.
Come from means the place where you originate.
For example, I come from Canada.
And go to means the place where you are traveling.
Like, I'm going to the store.
Let's repeat one last time. Come from. Come from.
Go to. Go to.
Wow, that was 8 pairs of expressions.
That's a lot of direction words for one episode.
But the great thing is that they all follow the same simple rule.
Exactly. Come means movement toward the speaker.
And go means movement away from the speaker.
Toward and away. That's really all you need to remember.
Once you understand that basic direction idea, many expressions become much easier.
Honestly, this episode feels like it rewired my brain. It's like someone installed a small compass inside my head.
A language compass.
Yes, now every time I speak, it points me toward come or away toward go.
That's exactly the goal when learning a language. Before we finish, we have a question for everyone listening.
Yes, we'd love to hear from you.
Tell us in the comments, when was the last time someone said come to you?
Where were they and where were you?
Or tell us about a time when you felt confused about come and go.
Your stories help everyone learn.
And we really enjoy reading your answers. Let's repeat the rule one last time.
Come means movement toward the speaker.
Go means movement away from the speaker.
Once you start feeling that direction naturally, it becomes automatic.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, please like, subscribe, and share this episode with a friend who is learning English.
Wait, Emily, I have one more question before we finish.
Sure, what is it?
Suppose I'm late for a meeting and I call my coworker. I tell them, I'm on my way. Could I also say, I'm coming?
Yes, you definitely could.
Why is that correct?
Because your coworker is already at the meeting location and you are traveling toward them, so saying I'm coming makes perfect sense.
Ah, that makes perfect sense now.
Let's imagine another situation, David. Suppose you're driving in your car and you call your coworker to say you'll be a little late to a meeting. What would you say?
I would probably say something like, I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Exactly. That sentence sounds very natural in English.
Could I also say, I'm coming in 5 minutes?
Yes, you definitely could. If the coworker is already at the meeting location and you're driving toward them, saying I'm coming makes perfect sense.
That's interesting because if I were talking to Lily at home at the same moment, I might say something different.
Right. What would you say to Lily?
I might say something like, I'm going to the meeting now.
Perfect example. In that situation, you are describing the same action, driving in your car, but the word changes depending on who you are speaking to.
That's what fascinates me. The same moment, the same trip, the same movement of my car can be described using 2 different words.
Exactly.
And the difference isn't really about my legs moving or my car moving.
So what is it about?
It's about the relationship between me and the person I'm talking to.
That's actually a very deep observation.
Really?
Yes, the difference between come and go is not only about physical movement, it's also about perspective and connection.
So language is not just about describing motion.
Exactly. In many cases, come creates a connection between the speaker and the listener.
And go describes movement away from the current position.
Right. In a way, come brings people together, and go creates distance from where you are.
That's a beautiful idea. Language is really about relationships, not just words.
I couldn't agree more. Let's look at another situation that happens in everyday life. Imagine you are at home and someone knocks on the door.
That happens all the time.
When you hear the knock, what do people often say?
Many people simply shout, "Coming!"
Exactly. Just one word. Coming.
And that word actually means, I'm coming to the door right now.
Right. It means you are moving toward the person who knocked. It's funny how one small word can carry so much meaning. English does that a lot. Let's imagine another situation. Someone knocks on the door and asks Lily, "Is David home?"
What might Lily say?
She might answer, "No, he's not here. He went out."
Exactly. She wouldn't say he came out.
Because went out means I left the house and moved away from home.
Correct. But what if I was inside the house and I walked toward the door while Lily was talking to the visitor?
Then Lily might say, "Here he comes."
Because I would be moving toward the door and toward the visitor.
Exactly. That's a perfect example.
I'm starting to feel proud of myself.
You should be. You're really understanding the idea now.
I have another question. Sometimes people say, "Come with me," and sometimes they say, "Go with me." Why is that?
Great question. Come with me is much more common in everyday English.
What does it mean exactly?
It means join me and move together in the direction I'm going.
So it feels like an invitation.
Exactly. It's friendly and natural.
What about go with me?
That phrase is possible, but it's less common. You might hear it in situations where someone is asking for company.
For example?
Someone might say, "Will you go with me to the dentist?"
Ah, that sounds like they don't want to go alone.
Exactly.
So come with me feels like an invitation to join someone.
And go with me sounds more like asking someone to accompany you.
That's a really helpful distinction.
Yes, come with me feels warmer and more immediate.
While go with me feels slightly more distant. I also hear the phrase go ahead all the time.
Yes, it's extremely common in English.
What does it mean exactly?
Go ahead means you have permission to continue or start something.
For example, if I ask, "Can I take the last cookie?" you might say,
Sure, go ahead.
"That's very polite."
Yes, it's a friendly way to give permission.
And what about come on?
That phrase is incredibly versatile.
I've heard it in so many different situations.
Exactly. Come on can mean encouragement.
Like during sports, come on, you can do it.
It can also show disbelief.
Like saying, oh, come on, that can't be true.
And sometimes it's used to hurry someone.
For example, come on, we're going to be late.
The meaning changes depending on the tone and situation.
I love how two simple words can have so many different meanings.
Context and tone make a huge difference in English. Let's try something fun before we finish this section.
I'm ready.
Let's create a short, natural conversation using come and go.
Sounds good.
David, I was thinking about this weekend. Our friend Maya invited us to come over for brunch on Saturday.
That sounds great. What time should we come?
She said we should come around 11 a.m.
That's perfect timing.
She also asked if we could come a little earlier to help her set up the table and prepare the food.
Sure, I'd be happy to help. But I have a question.
What's that?
Should I come straight from the gym or should I go home and shower first?
Definitely go home first.
Really?
Yes, nobody wants to smell gym sweat during brunch.
That's a very fair point.
Exactly.
All right then, my plan will be this. I'll go to the gym at 8 a.m., then I'll go back home, take a shower, get dressed, and finally come to Maya's house around 10:30.
That sounds like a perfect plan.
Great.
Oh, and Maya also said something important.
What did she say?
She told us to come hungry because she's planning to cook a lot of food for brunch.
In that case, I'll definitely arrive hungry. That sounds great, Emily. But now I'm thinking, should I bring something for the brunch?
That's a good question. What were you thinking of bringing?
Maybe some fruit or a dessert. But wait, now I'm confused again. Should I say bring something or take something?
I can see your brain working very hard right now.
Yes, it is. I keep thinking about the direction rule we talked about earlier.
All right, let's think about it together. You're going to Maya's house, right?
Yes,
And Maya is the host of the brunch.
correct.
But right now, you're talking to me, not to Maya.
That's true.
So technically, from our current perspective, you could say, should I take something?
Because I'm taking the item from my house to another place.
Exactly.
But I've heard people say, should I bring something in the same situation?
That's also very common.
Why is that okay?
Because both of us are planning to go to the same place, Maya's house. So in this conversation, the brunch becomes our shared destination.
Ah, so the destination connects us.
Right. In that case, bring feels natural because we're imagining ourselves arriving at the same place together.
So both take and bring could work depending on the perspective.
Exactly.
English really is a beautiful and confusing mess sometimes.
That's one way to describe it.
Sometimes the rules seem simple, but then there are these small details that make everything more complicated.
That's true, but the important thing is that you're learning to notice those details.
I guess that means I'm improving.
Absolutely. You're navigating the language better every day. Let's think about something interesting that just happened in our conversation.
What do you mean?
We actually used come and go naturally several times without stopping to think about it.
Really? I didn't even realize that.
Let's look at the examples.
Okay.
First, I said, Maya wants us to come over for brunch.
Right.
I used come over because Maya is inviting us toward her house.
That makes sense.
Then you said you would go to the gym in the morning.
Yes, because I'm leaving my house and traveling somewhere else.
Exactly. After that, you said you would go back home to shower.
Because home is another place away from the gym.
Perfect.
And finally, I said I would come to Maya's house around 10:30.
Right. At that point, Maya's house becomes our shared destination again.
Wow, you're right. We used come and go several times without even noticing.
That's actually a very good sign.
Why is that?
Because when you stop thinking about the rule and start using the words naturally, it means the idea is becoming automatic in your brain.
So the language is starting to feel more natural.
Exactly.
I didn't even notice the rule anymore. It just felt right.
And that's exactly how language learning works.
First, you learn the rule,
Then you practice it many times.
and eventually your brain starts using it automatically.
Yes. At that point, you're not translating in your head anymore.
You're just communicating.
And that's the real goal of learning a language.
I like that idea.
Me too.
You know something funny?
What's that?
At the beginning of this conversation, I was completely confused about come and go.
And now?
Now I feel like I finally understand the direction behind these words.
That's great to hear.
It's like my brain finally installed a small navigation system.
A navigation system.
Yes, every time I speak, it checks the direction, toward the listener or away from the listener.
That's a perfect way to describe it.
And when I imagine the direction, the correct word suddenly becomes clear.
That's exactly how native speakers think about it, even if they don't realize it.
Really?
Yes, most native speakers don't consciously think about the rule, but their brain automatically feels the direction.
So with enough practice, learners can reach the same level?
Absolutely.
That's encouraging.
Language learning takes time, but moments like this show that progress is happening.
I'm glad we had this conversation today.
Me too.
And now I'm even more excited for Maya's brunch.
Me too. Just remember one thing.
What's that?
Don't forget to bring something delicious.
Don't worry, I'll definitely bring dessert.